Hey there. From time to time, all of us property agents face customers, face prospects who don't turn up for appointments, who actually become no-show or stop responding to your messages. So the question is, how do we handle no-shows? How do we deal with these people who cannot make it for an appointment or viewing or whatever? Hi, my name is Yasser Khan, and I'm the author of Property Agent Secrets book, which is the most powerful book in the real estate industry, guaranteed. And for some time, I'm giving my book for free while stocks last, and just pay for shipping. So back to the topic for today, which is specifically how to handle no-shows. Now, I've seen agents complaining on social media, putting up screenshots, generally bashing all these prospects who don't turn up for appointment, who stop responding, stop answering their phone calls. And is that the right way to do it? Is that the right thing to do? And what I'm going to be saying today is going to offend some agents, but that's okay. I'm all about making the real estate industry great again. So I don't care about these agents. What you should be caring about is the image of the real estate industry. Because when you do that, when you bash prospects, when you bash all these people who don't turn up for an appointment or don't turn up for whatever is it that you are getting them to do, right? It puts out a bad image about real estate agents. Seriously, all right? Because when somebody doesn't turn up for viewing, he may have a legitimate reason, and we are not in a position to understand what they are going through. We don't know what their life is, and what happens instead is many agents take it personally. You should never ever take things personally. It's not about you. It's more likely got to do with them. All right. So the sign of an amateur salesperson is that he takes everything personally. He takes every rejection personally. Don't answer the call, or if the prospect stop responding to messages, or if the prospect doesn't bother to reply or doesn't turn up for viewing or an appointment, these property agents take everything personally, and that's a sign of immaturity, my friend. Grow up, grow up. This is life. We will come across these kind of prospects, all right? And the best thing that you can do is to move on, instead of putting up barriers, instead of bashing all these people, instead of revealing their IC, instead of putting up their photos, their numbers, or whatever the messages they send you as screenshots. Grow up, grow up, all right? Stop being childish. Grow up. Forget about it, right? The reason that they didn't turn up may absolutely have nothing to do with you, but everything to do with their own life. You don't know because they didn't bother to call you back, right? So you can't ask them what happened, right? And whatever answer they give you is the typical answer they also give other salesmen, right? Because remember one thing, always remember one thing: the sales profession is not respected anymore. It doesn't have the respect that it used to have, and precisely because all of these things keep going, you salesmen keep things, taking these things personally, because they're too afraid of rejection. And whenever prospects don't turn up, they take it as a rejection. There may or may not be legitimate reasons for a prospect not showing up for a viewing or not coming down to an appointment. You don't know the truth. You don't even know, probably you don't even know half of it. Alright? So stop being childish. Stop throwing tantrums online. Stop polluting online. Stop complaining. Seriously, stop complaining. Own up. Instead of putting up barriers, instead of worrying about or whatever problem that prospect is giving you or giving other agents, stop it right now. Instead, own up. Instead, work about, sit down and be very clear what kind of prospect that you want to work with. All right? Because precisely because if you do a bad job of filtering the right kind of prospect, you will get the wrong prospect. You will end up speaking with wrong kind of prospect, and that should tell you that probably your filtering process, your follow-up process is horrible. Seriously, there's no other way. How can you make an appointment with somebody if you know for sure, if you knew that he wouldn't turn up, you wouldn't, right? Nobody would book an appointment with such a person, right? You don't know, right? So you got to do a better job of filtering. That's number one. Number two, instead of looking it as, oh, the entire industry is full of non-serious buyers, buyers are not serious, sellers are not serious, they don't show up. Instead of attracting all this negativity, it will become a habit for you, and you will attract more of such prospects again and again and again. And I want you to put a stop to it. Instead, focus on positive. Focus on seriously the kind of prospect that brings you joy, who comes in an appointment and who you can close, right? So instead of trying to do a bit of damage control, this is not really damage control, by the way. This is damaging. This is repelling. All those prospects, they have legitimate reasons for not turning up, even if whatever they tell you may not be true, even if what you believe may not be true as well, right? And what you don't want to believe may be true. So it's because property agents, we become too emotional, right? We take it too personally, and that's a sign of low self-esteem. That's a sign of seriously being immature. And seriously, you got to upgrade your outlook, you got to upgrade your mindset. The real estate industry is bigger than you, bigger than that prospect, and probably you never know what happened to them, right? So stop worrying about them and start focusing on the positive part. And the positive part is to focus on the ideal candidate. Build out, write out the ideal candidate, ideal prospect that you love working with. Who is your ideal buyer? How does it talk? How does it work? What is it thinking about? What does it do? What are the actions that they will take with you? Right? So create an ideal customer avatar. So I call it an avatar because that's the best kind of prospect that you want to work with. Focus on them. And when you focus on them, like the law of attraction, if you read the book or if you watch the movie Law of Attraction, right? Then by right, what you focus on expand. And this is 100% true, right? So what I will do if I were faced in a similar situation, all right, always accept that your appointment rate is never ever going to be 100% rate of showing up. That's a fact. If something comes up, somebody dies, somebody gets born. This is life, right? So the people still need a home to stay, right? And their need is going to be there until it is solved, whether or not it's being solved by an agent or by DIY. Do not give a chance to DIY. Do not make a better argument for DIY. Do not sabotage the image of the real estate industry by complaining about all these kind of buyers. Forget it. Stop doing it. Be gracious. Be professional, right? You don't see doctors being angry or putting up pictures of their patients who don't turn up, or the patients who haven't paid up, or the patients who do whatever it is. Improve your customer service. That's such a thing as customer service. All right. So where is your customer service when you're posting the screenshot of all these prospects who didn't turn up? Where is your customer service when you're posting the IC scan of all these people? That is so unprofessional. That's unethical. How would you feel if somebody put your picture everywhere? Somebody does doxing, right? So it's something similar to doxing, but it's not exactly doxing because the address is blank, right? But anyway, my point is that how would you feel if somebody exposed you for one of your mistakes and never appreciate all the good things that you did, but one of your mistakes somebody exposed you and said beware of this agent? How would you feel? Probably your prospects are also feeling the same thing. They feel defensive, they feel angry, they feel vindictive, right? And when people feel vindictive, they want to take revenge. How do they take revenge? They take revenge by not getting a realtor, my friend. Alright? So do not dig your own grave. Instead, be more professional. Alright? Be more gracious. Smile more. Laugh more. Alright? Relax. Seriously. It's a process. Real estate is a process. Property agent career is a process. It's not a destination. It's not the journey. Maybe your destination is maybe to earn $1 million. Right? So that's the destination. But we are all going through this journey called life. Before we are property agents, we are human beings. Alright? So realize that all human beings have flaws, Everybody has flaws. I got flaws. You got flaws. Your prospect got flaws, right? So everybody has shortcomings. All right. So close one eye, ignore the shortcoming, and move on. Move on to go back, get back to your life, get back to your career. Move on to whatever it is that you're doing. Move on to move forward, not backward. Stop looking backward. Stop looking at all the bad things that happen. When you do that, you will attract more of the same thing. What you focus on expands, right? So what you want to focus on expand, so focus on positive things so that you can expand on the positive stuff, right? So what are the things that you want? Maybe you want to close more deals this month. Maybe you want this quarter to be your best quarter yet. Maybe by next year you want to become a top producer. Whatever is it, focus on that instead of worrying about things that are out of your control, right? So whatever is happening to that prospect is out of your control, right? So what is in your control? Your control is to improve your customer service, is to improve your convincing skills, right? What is in your control is to improve on becoming a better human, basically, right? So when you become a better human, right, your overall quality of life will increase, right? Stop taking rejection personally. It is not about you. It is about them, but it's not about you, right? So worry about things that are within your control. You cannot control, you cannot convince. Seriously, ultimately, whether or not somebody wants to buy a house or using your services is not up to you. It's up to them, whether they have a need or not. Your job is to prove to them why you are the best agent and why you, in particular, are the best person to do this job. Simple as that. Ultimately, you want to help people buy or sell or rent or invest property, right? And while doing that, you want to enjoy life. You want to enjoy more peace of mind. You want to enjoy the income that you want. That was the reason that you got invested in the first place, right? You want the independence of time, right? Focus on that. Get back on track. Think about your future. Think about your family. Think about your kids. Move on. All right. So when you move on, right, you are able to better plan what you need to do. And the next step is, like earlier on I mentioned, you draw a customer avatar. Who is the best buyer you want to be working with? And then the second thing that you can do is improve your communication skills, improve your filtering skills, improve your follow-up. So that when you do a follow-up, right, you filter out all these prospects. You will know for sure, by experience, by your intuition, unconsciously, when you speak to somebody, you get the feeling that maybe this person is genuine. And then that genuine person, the more often you do it, the better you become at it, right? And the better you become at working only with genuine buyers, right? So when you call someone, when you speak to someone, you get a feeling that this person is genuine, then go, by all means, help them. You realize that those genuine buyers, they fit a particular profile. They have a collection of signs, that a collection of attributes that you can pay attention to. And when you realize that, yeah, okay, this person fits that description, then that is the person that you book an appointment with, and chances are very high that he will honor his commitment, he will honor his agreement. Yes. Now the first thing is, basically, I told you to move on, right? And by moving on, decide on your ideal customer that you want to be working with. The second thing I shared just now is becoming better at filtering, becoming better at follow-up. And the third thing that I want to address when working with these kind of buyers is that, always, based on the avatar that you work on early on, they have certain characteristics. These buyers, more motivated buyers, follow a certain profile, right? So pay attention to their profile. And the third thing is, basically, you keep listening attentively. When you listen attentively to all these prospects, right, whatever they're saying over the phone or in person, you get a lot of feelings, right? So listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. Pay attention to your gut. All right. So be more, proactive instead of being reactive. Be future oriented instead of looking at the past. All right. So that, my friend, is the secret to having a more enjoyable career, more peace of mind, and less stress, less fighting, less online arguments and all that, and you should be focusing more on what you want to achieve in life. All right, so that is the secret for how to handle no-shows. This is Yasser Khan, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Now go sell more houses.